Good morning, everyone. Today's project is, we got one big project and one small project. Jim is getting ready to pull fence, and I'll be helping him. I'm getting ready to plant this big tomato plant. See if I can get you a view of it. Oh, watch the fingers. There we go. That plant's almost 1.5 feet tall. It's time for it to go in the garden. I tried digging a hole and there's too many roots. So my go-to is going to be that red bucket over there. Let me show you my bucket. Okay guys, the bucket I chose is, it's a Firehouse sub bucket. We used to get buckets all over the place when we were collecting buckets. There we go. There's the bucket. In the bottom of the bucket, I don't know if we can see for all the dirt already, but you can see down there, I have 4 nice size holes for drainage. Thank you. Roosters are crowing yet. So I got the drainage holes that were already done. And there's also some holes. It's hard to see in film. Right there. There's holes about 1 inch off the bottom of the bucket as well. And that's so that we don't have any major puddling in this, because we get a lot of rain, guys. In fact, in the last 2 days, we got enough rain to fill every water container we own here at the property. So we have close to 2,000 gallons of water in the last 2 days that we've collected, which is huge. We needed it. We had almost 3 weeks of no rain. So the rain becomes vital when you're gardening and you have orchards and you have livestock. We rely solely on the rainwater for everything we do here, other than drinking water. We're still purchasing drinking water at Walmart. We do the 5-gallon refill jugs, which is dirt cheap. For like 5 gallons, we're paying $1 something per jug. So that's really affordable. Guys, I gotta tell you, the sun's out for the first time in 2 days. It's hot, and it's early yet. So I'm gonna get my tomatoes in, and we'll bring you back, and I'll show you, try and bring you back step by step to show you what I'm doing here. Okay, one of the first things I'm doing is, I don't have enough of my own soil to work with. I have sand here, and I'm using an organic, see if you can see that. I can't see nothing with the sun glare, but it's an organic garden soil. And I'm going to amend it with rabbit manure. And I think that'll probably be enough fertilizer, so that's kind of my game plan. I'm going to get this in the bucket, mix it with some rabbit manure, and then move on to actually putting the tomato plant in the bucket. Tomatoes are a heavy feeder, so fertilizing a tomato, whether you do it with commercial fertilizers or an organic fertilizer like I'm going to do, is important. So let me get this going because it's getting hotter by the second here. Okay guys, I'm going to show you, see if I can get this. There we go. There's my bucket and my rabbit manure, and I put about 4 inches of soil in the bottom. I'm going to be planting this tomato deep, but I'm also going to put a layer of garden soil between the manure and the base of the tomato plant so I don't have roots touching fresh manure. Okay guys, I've got my garden soil in. Now it's time to get the tomato plant in. Okay guys, I've got my bucket in place. I got my tomato plant in place. I've pinched some of these bottom leaves off, as you can see, because we're going to plant the plant deep. And then everywhere along this stem, it can actually grow roots, which will be real nice to see. So what I'm going to do is go as deep as I can And then we should have a very strong tomato plant when it's all said and done. Okay guys, my tomato is in. And it's got at least 6 inches that it can develop roots in the bottom. But then the rest will develop roots from the 6 inches, which is probably about right here, all the way up to this rim. It can develop roots. And I also need to stake this tomato, but I also put this bucket by this T-post for a reason. If it gets really big and hard to control, I can tie it off to this T-post, and that'll support it up to at least 4 foot. And this T-post won't be moving, so I'm gonna pop a stake in there. Okay guys, as you can see, I have 2 green stakes in there, and they actually go a lot higher than the T-post, and I have effectively made a tomato cage. Now all I gotta do is take some twine, tie it off to the T-post, double wrap it on each one of these, and take it up as the plant grows, and I have effectively made a tomato cage. And hopefully I don't have to move this. My next step is going to be rabbit manure on top, and then I'm going to mulch it because I got a lot of hay that's been composting. I'm going to use that, and I'm going to mulch this. This also has aged chicken manure in it because this is where we ran our young chickens before we moved them to the chicken tractor out there. So I'm going to get that step done now. I wish I had a better system that I could actually show you as I was working, but one person, camera person, and I don't have a tripod. So, but that tomato plant, I'm real happy. I grew this tomato from seed. And the seed is from either M.I. Gardner or Baker Creek. I lost the tag, so I'm not sure what I'm growing here. It's either going to be a black crim or an Amish paste tomato. I'm not sure which one it is. Those are the only 2 I've planted so far this season. And I got a bunch more tomatoes, as you can see here, growing. So I definitely got to get some more buckets ready to go. Unfortunately, the new garden is not ready. If the new garden was ready, these would go right in the new garden. But we have not had the time, the energy, none of what it takes to get that garden in. It's going to take a lot of time and effort, and the goats would help if I could get them over there, but I can't. Not yet anyway. And we're focusing on hard fencing for my girls here. So, alright, squirrel, back to planting a container tomato. Okay guys, if you look in there, that's rabbit manure, but if you see, I don't have any of it touching my tomato plant. It is not a hot manure, so it's very safe to use the way I'm using it, directly distributed into your garden or around your plants, but I don't have it touching the plant, only because I've never worked with rabbit manure before and I want to be extra careful. This is my only really impressive tomato plant. I don't want to hurt it. But I know putting the manure around the plants will not hurt it. My next step is mulching. Why do you mulch a container garden? So you don't have to weed that container garden. There could be weed seeds in my organic garden soil, which I believe there are, because if you see those containers, that's mostly grass. We don't have grass here. So how did it get in my compost? Well, that's not really, it's a mixture of garden soil and compost, and I'm thinking it came from that compost right there. And that's sad, but you know, we work with it. It was cheap garden soil, and I'm going to need a lot of garden soil once the big gardens start going in. So I bought 3 bags of it, which is not near enough. And you see, this is going on really, really thick, guys. And yes, I still have to water this plant in, but this is going on thick so that I don't have to weed it. And it's not hard to do. This is just old hay I have sitting around, and I put it in the garden for the chickens to work with. There we go. There we go. Now we're ready to water. Then you see how it looks? No, it's not pretty. I'm not going for pretty. I'm going for food production. So that's my goal. Now we just give her a good drink, and then I think I'm going to tie that tomato up, because she is very tall, but tall is good if you're doing a deep planting. And if you want a good, strong tomato plant, a deep planting, at least I feel, is very important, because it gives your plant a chance to develop a lot more roots, triple the amount of roots it would have if you just planted that little section of soil that had roots in. Now instead of that, 2 or 3 inches tall, now you have 6 to 10 inches of possible root growth, which means more water intake, more nutrient intake. It all comes together, guys. Alright, I gotta go get some water, and we got lots of water. I'm gonna give it a good strong drink, because we just had rain 2 days, and look at that. No blue skies today. We're probably gonna have afternoon showers from here on out for at least a month or two. We have officially hit Florida's rainy season. And this is our first real rainy season. Well, I guess we moved in May last year, and we had rain, but I don't believe we really saw a full rainy season up here. So we are definitely geared up and ready for it. We got our water catch system in place. We're excited. We needed the rain, so the rain we got was a lot, but we needed it. Now, what will happen with all the rain we got? Everything, look how green everything is. It's going to go crazy in the next couple days. Okay, guys, I've got the tomato tied up, and I started down here, and I'm going to pull this limb up over, and I got 1 layer, 2 layer, 3, 4, and some of these seem a little loose because there's no plant pressure on them, and everything's secured to that T-post. So as this plant grows, I have at least 4 foot that will be supported, and from there it's going to have to do what it's going to do, because I can only go up another 1.5 feet with the green posts, and they don't handle a lot of weight. As you can see, this one's already bent and crimped, but we'll work with it. So hopefully 1 tomato in. I'm hoping a bunch more to go. And we're just now starting to get the morning sun on it, which is great. The rest of the garden is doing good. I got some carrot beds in now, so I'm just waiting to see if we see some carrot sprouts. That rain should help. I learned one thing in Florida with carrots. You have to keep the carrot bed that you planted well watered, because the hot sun just dries it out too much. The mustard greens are coming through, so they're doing okay. I gotta do some weeding. Back to Eden Garden does not mean weed free, guys. It just means less weeds, a lot less. My Brussels sprouts are doing good. My bunching onions are doing absolutely great. I'm really excited about those. I can actually start cutting these tops off and start using them in meals. My cauliflower is doing okay. They were all planted at the same time, but we got 2 nice sized ones, and then these 2 are struggling a little. But they still look healthy. The leaves look really good and strong and nice and green. So I'm not going to worry too much. The broccoli was planted all through here. And as you can see, there's not much going on but weeds. Those are weeds. Those are weeds. That's 1 broccoli I can account for. Possibly a second one right there. So I'm a little disappointed, so I have to start over on the broccoli. And I think what happened here, I have a cat that thought this was his litter box. So I think that's what's going on here. He basically dug all the young sprouts up. I'm going to have to teach that little boy some kitty manners. In here is my celery. And it's doing really, really good, guys. I'm real happy with it. Looks like I'm missing some of the celery now too. Hey, cats and gardens, not a good mix. But I'm going to show you my other celery that I propagated from a store-bought celery cut off the bottom. I rooted it and I put it in with the comfrey. And that's doing really good. It's nice and dark green, lush. It's taken root really well. I did plant 2, and as you can see, the second one didn't make it. But we got more celery in the refrigerator with those bottoms on. So I plan on propagating those. If that's the only way I can get celery, I'll take it any way I can get it. I just want to be able to grow it. I got to prove to myself I can do more than the basics. And that's kind of my goal this year. I got to show you something that's doing really fantastic. This is my biggest fig tree that we have. And if you look closely, look at that, guys. If these develop to the point where I can pick them, they'll be our first fruit that we've produced on the homestead. And look in here, I just saw another one. 3 figs on this limb. I don't see any on this limb. So right now it's a 2-limb tree, but no figs, but I got lots of new growth right there. This here, this whole top here from the Y is all new growth this year, and you see it's already scaled over for bark. So these things grow super fast, and I can see more growth coming. And this little limb's doing good. New growth coming on that one. So the figs are doing fantastic here. And if you look at the bottom of the fig tree, rabbit manure. Like I said, I'm not going to let the rabbit manure pile up into piles. I'm putting it out as fast as we're getting it. And I'm making sure all my trees are getting it. We got some lemons and limes coming in. Well, let me show you. If you can see that, guys, that is a tangerine. Yay! And here's another little one. So we're getting fruit set. Oh, look at this right in front of me. There's a little one. There's a little one. In here is a little one. Oh my gosh. There's a little one in there trying to start. Wow, we could get a lot of tangerines this year. But we have to watch because this is a very young tree. Well, you know, it could be 4 or 5 years old, guys. But it's young for us here at our homestead. And we'll see. I'm looking for more. We'll see if the tree can support the fruit. If the limbs start sagging too much, we'll have to take the fruit off because the tree is just not grown enough to support heavy fruit. But tangerines are little guys. Those are like your halos you buy in the store. So it might be worth letting a few on just so we can say we got fruit. Let me show you the lemons. I know, I get sidetracked so easy. This is my tangelo tree, and as you can see, we definitely have some tangelos trying to come in. This tree is tiny, guys, so we will pick those off. We're not going to let those develop at all because the tree just could not support them. So we'll be cutting those off. Now, see what else I can get into. Hold on. These are flowers on the lemon. And then I also got, over here's my lime. Well, I might have them backwards. Hold on, let me check. This is the lime for sure. There we go. That's why I leave tags on till I memorize it. But there is a chance we could get some lemons and limes this year. But again, you see how tiny that is? We can't allow it to really grow fruit. Okay guys, that's my garden and orchard update for the day. I hope you enjoyed the video. And don't be afraid to try container gardening. Hi guys, the Three Stooges. One's back there, so he lost these 2. Yep, go get them. Come this way. They're awful loud when they get going, guys. We don't mind it though. But we also have starting to be turning a deaf ear to it. Anyway, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and see you on the next video. Have a blessed day.